Hello, this is Goku for someone.
And we're here to do a top 10 movies of 2015.
Okay, so here's how this is going to work. We are going to, up to number two, we're going to name our top 10. When we get to number two, we're going to name a handful of honorable mentions. And we're going to go from 10 to 1. So you have to stay tuned to see what we think is the best.
Can I just run through what I think the worst movies are? Because I'm not sure if you
Yes.
have. All right, for me, these are the worst. I'm just going to run through them. I'm not going to go that much into it, but I'll give a brief reason. Top four worst movies. Number four, Vacation. I was looking forward to this movie. I love the vacation movies. This movie was a fucking piece of shit. It was an agonizing piece of crap to sit through, too. I shut it off. I couldn't watch it. The comedy is just horrible. It's nothing like the first original movies. When you say Vegas Vacation is the that's the worst of the old franchise, and to say that is better than this is bad. This is supposed to be the new one. It was supposed to really bring it back. It was horrible. Number three, Tomorrowland. I was looking forward to this, and then it turned into a convoluted mess, piece of shit. Anything George Clooney is in, I enjoy for the most part, but it was just like, why are you even in this? It sucked. And number two, which is going to surprise a ton of people, and I don't care, I'm going to say it anyway, and I might even piss off someone who I'm talking to right now, and that is Mad Max Fury Road. I was looking forward to this movie. The trailers looked awesome. I don't mind the first three movies that they did. This was a it was a piece of shit. I'm sorry. It's overrated. I didn't like it. There's no storyline. Max felt like he was just sleeping the whole movie. Furiosa was cool, but Charlie Theron is awesome and everything. No story, action for the hell of it, wackadoo acid trip. Like I can understand why people like it, but it's just a big ass video game cutscene. Number one, 50 Shades of Grey. Fuck this movie. That's all I have to say.
Okay, and I will do one that I think was the probably the worst movie I saw this year. Not saying this is the worst movie of the year, just saying out of what I've seen, because I haven't seen really bad movies, was Terminator Genesis. I'm sorry. It
The more you think about it,
well, it was just out of every single movie I saw, that was one of those films. I think there might have been another one that just didn't even make it on my list. Usually I just put every single movie I've seen
mhm.
and then start booting movies off. That movie, I just went, nope, not even going to be on the list. So yeah, that movie doesn't
So
deserve.
that's not it's not completely horrible in your
No, no,
opinion. Just it's
it's
not good enough to be on your best of this year.
it's an average movie, and so the worst movie I saw was an average movie. I've not seen a garbage movie this entire year. So nobody,
Vacation, if anything, I'm going to swap 4 with 1 because that really disappointed me. I was really looking forward to that. Vacation, I was looking forward to that the most. And that shit really sucked hard.
so let's get on to the movies we actually enjoyed. So do you want to begin?
All right, yeah, I'll go number 10, Furious 7. This was I'm not the biggest fan of this franchise. I'm not going to just say, "Oh, I love the franchise." Like I'm not that big into it. Like I like some of the movies, some of them are like getting ridiculous now. I think this should be the ending. It was perfect ending. Rest in peace, Paul Walker. That was a shocker. You know what I mean? When that happened, when it was, when everybody found out he, passed away, really emotional. You know, if you're not human, and if you're not alive, and if you're alive inside, that shit hit you regardless. And that was really, really awesome. The movie was awesome in general. But yeah, that's my number 10, Fury 7.
Okay. My number 10 is a movie that I don't know if it did, but I'll find out later, is Jurassic World. It's not a great film, but it certainly was a well-made film in my opinion. It was a return to form, I think, for the franchise. It is the second best Jurassic Park film in the franchise, and you can't beat the first one. The first one was near perfect, but at least it gave you Back to the Island. It gave you nods to the old film. It didn't do things as well as I wish it would have. I when you kind of get I wish there would have been more getting to see the old park. That's something I wanted to see a little bit more of in the movie, but you don't really get a lot of that. But it still is a really good film. It is a good film. It's not a above average. It is a good film. And yet again, I had problems with it, major problems, but nothing that ever took me out of the film and nothing I was thinking about when I was watching the movie.
All right, so you want me to go with my number
Yeah,
9 now?
number 9.
My number 9 is The Visit by M. Night Shyamalan. Best horror movie I've seen this year, which is saying a lot because there really, well, actually, that's not saying a lot because there really wasn't that many great horror movies this year, which sucks. I'm really losing faith in mainstream Hollywood with producing fucking horror movies. Can you please? It's either a possession movie or a found footage movie, even though The Visit is a found footage movie, which was awesome, though. M. Night Shyamalan, people shit on him. People say he's a bad director. Yeah, he made some stink piles in the last couple of years, but he went back to form. This is what he's good at. It scared the freaking shit out of me, this movie. Like, best horror movie I've seen this year. When you're still thinking about it, that's when it's did its job. That's my number 9.
Okay, my number 9 is Spectre. Yet again, when I got out of the film, I loved it. But then when I thought about it, it's not as good as I thought it was, but it's still a good movie. It still has a lot of those things that I wanted. It got as close as I'm going to get with this actor to the Bond film I want. It's a little bit more fun than the other ones. It is probably his second worst Bond film, but it's still not a bad movie. It's still a really good movie. It's put together well, and I do like the villain. I do like what the movie did. And I think it worked for what it was. Yes, did I predict who the villain was going to be? Yes, I do. I think that should have been a secret. No, but I think it was good for what it is, and it is what it is. It's not. That's why it only made number 9. And
All right,
he's as
so
good as always. He's as good as always.
who? Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 8 is Terminator Genesis. People freaking across the board, critics and now fans for the most part, hated this movie. You know, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a freaking awesome return for the Terminator franchise. It was awesome seeing Arnold back. I had problems with it. I didn't say it was perfect. I hated freaking some of the dialogue. It was horrendous. I'm going to admit that. But I thought Sarah Connor, regardless of some of her shitty dialogue, she was awesome. She did a great job filling Linda Hamilton's shoes. Kyle Reese, I forgot the guy's name in real life, but I thought he was good. Jai Courtney, I think that's his name. I think he did a good job. It was just fun. I enjoyed it. I was glad to see a new Terminator, and it was better than Salvation. And that's not saying much, but still, they captured what Terminator felt like. They got it right. I loved it. That's pretty much my number 8.
Okay. My number 8 is Furious 7. So, yet again, it is what it is. This franchise got really silly. It's got really over, and I wish it would have ended at number 6. It should have ended at number 6, but I've realized that because these movies make a lot of money, they're never going to end them. So, as long as they make
I
them,
just hope The Rock has a bigger role in the next one.
yeah. And I like how these movies are silly and they are over the top, and they've finally gotten to a point where it started out by being a Point Break remake, and now they're just no, we're gonna jump the
Now
shark.
it's Hot Wheels meets Transformers.
We're gonna jump the shark, but we're gonna do it in a fun and enjoyable way, and that's what these movies are. They're basically as silly, as ridiculous as you can get, but that's what you're going there for now. You're not going to see something that you can think can happen. Because I'm sorry, and this is in the trailer, so this is
Let me
not.
just ask you this one question.
Yeah.
And here's my problem with this franchise. If you can say it, then you're a bigger fan than I am. But what is the main character's name of those franchise? What's Vin Diesel's main name in those movies?
Well, he's not the main character.
To me, he is.
Paul Walker's character is the main.
What's his name in the movie? That's my point. Go ahead.
Oh crap! What is his?
Yeah, that's my point.
I'm bad with names,
They
so you're
have no
asking me about.
characters whatsoever. It's just them as themselves.
Yet again, they had characters in the first couple, but now it's the sons. Now it's the world that they live in. Um, but yet again, we go there to see the stunts. We go there to see the action scenes. Like
Yeah.
this is a movie that I think is mostly action, but it's enjoyable and fun action. Like I just sit there and enjoy it. But what is your number 7? I'm wondering. I've been wondering.
Inside Out. I freaking love this movie. Pixar. I wasn't on the Pixar bandwagon. I liked the some of them, but now I am. I freaking love pretty much every Pixar movie now up to this point. I've rewatched them all now. You know, most of them. Like I think Wally is probably my favorite, but Inside Out is freaking amazing. That's the best, one of the best movies I've seen this year, because it's like it showed like it's messed up when you can feel an emotional impact on a movie when it's CGI emotions. It's not even you're feeling for characters that are freaking CGI cartoons. You're crying. I was crying during this movie. So yeah.
So my number 7 might actually shock a few people. And it made number 7. I want to give a little thing. I saw this in a really, really bad setting.
Hmm.
So that's probably why it's so low on my list, because I actually didn't hear all the dialogue, and there were a lot of people and they were making noise. So this is probably one of these times where a movie is low on my list because I didn't see it in the right setting. But it was still a really good movie, and that's Cinderella.
Huh. Damn,
Just
I saw that too. It's not even on my list. I forgot that came out.
that
That
movie.
was a great movie though. A great friggin' just you know what I mean? It's it's what I think these adaptations to freaking not
Yes.
make don't give Cinderella a sword, please.
No, it was exactly the exact same story, except for you added a little bit. And I don't think this is a spoiler, so I'm sorry if you consider this a spoiler. This is a spoiler-free video. But
I mean, if you've seen the animated film, you know what it
well,
is.
well I mean, I'm going to say something that one of the differences in the movie is that they actually met each other beforehand,
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
not really a spoiler though.
I don't consider that a spoiler. Some people might, but to me, that kind of makes you care a little bit more about them, because you can't take these movies and straight adapt them. You have to add a little bit more substance, because a lot of these movies were quick.
But don't give them swords fighting monsters.
Um, Absolutely. If you're telling that story, then don't. If you're telling the original story,
Like
um,
fucking goddamn Snow White and the Huntsman.
well, Snow White and the Huntsman did it horribly. I think Ellis did a little bit better, because Ellis is a sequel, and yes, they shouldn't have done that in that movie either. But I think it was a little bit better in that movie. I turned off Snow White and the Huntsman because literally they set up a character, and then at the very last bit of the movie, they completely break that character. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. You've lost me completely. But this movie, yet again, it's made by Disney. Disney is fairly good at making these
Unless
types
if you're
of,
Tomorrowland.
well, I mean the live action. They made bad movies, but I'm saying they are the best at making the live action
Yeah, like adaptions of their
fairy
stuff.
tales. Yeah, the live action fairy tales. So yeah, I mean,
They knock it out of the park with everything else, except sometimes they've been making some really like
well, they
their
make so many.
their original stuff. I mean, literally, Tomorrowland is based on a ride in Disneyland.
Yes, but hey, the last time they did it, worked out very well. This
Yeah,
didn't hit. Um, so what is your number 6?
Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Okay, we're just gonna talk together then.
We have the same one.
That's my number 6.
I
So
I loved it. I rewatched it a couple days ago. It's still awesome. I have complaints with it. Ultron was a little friggin' like Ultron. He had nothing to him. He was just another one-off villain, like most of the Marvel villains. But it was still awesome.
I didn't really think that. I thought they did a good job for what they had. I mean, there's another Marvel movie I think did a worse job with the villain. I think this is one of the better villains, but that might not be saying much because there's not a lot of great villains. Um, but I actually like
Vision was freaking awesome too.
yeah, Vision was really good. I think the new edition
Scarlet
was
Witch
really
was
good.
awesome.
The only,
I didn't like how they just killed off Quicksilver.
okay, this is spoiler free.
Oh well, sorry.
Yeah,
Most people who are gonna see this, most likely, if I did spoil it for you, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure you've. If you're listening to this, why are you here if you haven't seen half these movies?
but I want to keep this spoiler free because this is our recommendation. Like these are movies you should go see. So this should
Well, that one thing bothered me. It
yeah.
was like you introduce something, and then I should have said it like that. You introduce something just to have it be nothing in this movie.
Yeah, and I agree with you. That was my biggest problem with the movie too. But yeah, I thought this was I thought this was a really good film. I thought it was a very good film.
The friggin' Hulkbuster versus
Yeah.
Hulkbuster versus Hulk was insane.
There were a couple of things I didn't like, but it didn't make the movie bad in any sense. So, what is your number 5?
You can go. I said 6 first, so you go.
Well, that's gonna break up the rhythm. So,
All right, so I'll go. Yeah, number 5 is Jurassic World. I actually really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it's a bad movie. I wouldn't say it's like block. I mean, it was awesome. I enjoyed it. I rewatched it again the other day too, like a couple of maybe a week ago or something. I watched it with my wife. It was awesome. She hated it though. I didn't. I was surprised she hated it, but again rewatching it was awesome. I thought the Adonis Rex, was that what it's called?
yeah.
He was creepy. The CGI was awesome. I thought Chris Pratt was cool. You know, he was awesome as Star-Lord, but he's not playing the same guy in this. Like it did feel like this is not just Chris Pratt being Chris Pratt. Like he was a badass. I do have a little bit of complaints, but yeah, this is definitely sticked out to me. Like I remember this of this year. And it made insane money.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my number 5.
My number 5 is Ant-Man. This was what I want Marvel movies. I like this about this movie, that it's just fun. It's not like I love the Avengers type movies that are big and waiting and things are happening. And this movie, it's just fun. I think the humor in this movie for me stuck because it wasn't funny to be funny. A lot of it was straight humor. A lot of it was there were a couple of gags that didn't work, but I think most of it was this is actually they're just saying things and they happen to be funny in the moment. Not that they're trying to tell a joke, that they're just being funny because the events happen to be a little hilarious. I think how they did his powers were really good. And yeah, the villain, as I hinted earlier, didn't really work all that well, but this isn't about the villain. This movie is not about that villain. He's simply in there because you got to have a villain at the end of the movie. The movie isn't about the villain.
Yeah, but that's usually the problem with most of Marvel films. I'll just say my number 4. It's Ant-Man.
Okay.
I rewatched this too. And I gave it a bad rap. I was like, it's mediocre. But rewatching it, now that everything else is out, you know what I mean, and I just watched it, I think it's better than the Avengers.
Yeah,
I think it was a better movie because the villain was another one-off villain, but the Ant-Man shrinking shit was awesome. Like I freaking love those scenes. Like those scenes were awesome. I don't know. Even though it is basically the same movie as Iron Man, again. It really is. When you think about it, it's the same. It's like a reskinned Iron Man movie. But I still enjoyed it.
But with different power sets, and I think that works. You can do it.
But that's basic. You can say that about any genre, though, too. It's the same as this movie because the girl gets the guy. You know what I mean? That's a stupid complaint because that's
how you do it. It's how you
yeah, but I just enjoyed it. I think it was better than the Avengers.
Okay.
So. And I can't wait to see Paul Rudd come back. Is he going to be in Civil War?
Yeah, he's going to be in Civil War. He was in the Comic-Con trailer, but they didn't put him in the normal trailer because apparently he has like a comedic scene, and that trailer wasn't meant to be comedic. So they didn't put them in because it just wouldn't have tracked with the trailer. You make trailer.
And I freaking love those parts where like, like when they made those freaking, they hinted at growing sizes.
Yeah, they did.
So they're gonna do that in a sequel, or maybe in Civil War, or maybe Infinity
They're
War.
eventually going to do that, I believe.
I thought those scenes were freaking hilarious when he made that Thomas the Tank Engine thing freaking huge.
Yes.
That was cool.
And that's one of the problems that I'm not going to get into. I did have one problem around that part of the movie, but I'm not going to get into that because I think that's a little spoilerish, so I'm not going to say it. But now...
But I also like what it's set up for sequels too. With I'll just give you a hint. It's a little waspy.
Yes, there is something for sequels. Okay, so my number 4 is a movie apparently you haven't seen. I think is the best spy movie of the entire year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not called Spy. Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation. For me, this did what Mission Impossible movies for me have done. They've gotten sillier, but they are not silly for the sake of silly. They make sense.
I've seen all of them except this one. I planned on seeing it. It was just like there was so much other shit going on, you know. I forgot it was out.
Arguably the best one. I think this franchise, other than maybe the second one, since the third one, I think they get better and better and better. So I cannot wait for the sixth one, because if they just keep getting better, why
does it care if you go up to 50?
Yeah, it's because the things in this movie, and I will say this without spoiling anything, okay?
Yeah.
You think you know things in that trailer. You think you know when sequences are going to be in that trailer.
Yeah.
You think you know. You think. They play it off perfectly, where you have where they literally do something that for almost any other movie would be the last scene of the movie is your opening scene. Like, they literally get you there, and they literally get you, okay.
Oh, so probably the plane scene is really the opening.
I'm not going to say anything, okay? But
that's how they cut it, the trailer, though. They made the cool one.
But they literally tell you, hey, if this is how we're starting the movie, wait.
Damn, wait. That's like the biggest scene in the trailer, too. Like, what the hell else is in this? I'm watching it now. You sold me.
Yes. And I don't, is that a spoiler telling you what the opening scene of the movie is?
No.
So yeah, but it works because they hook you immediately, and you go, okay. And it does live up to it. It does work. Okay. So what is your number 3?
Ex Machina.
Oh, cool.
Man, this
one.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, so we get to go together.
This was freaking like, I think this is freaking, all right. I can't say anything about this movie, because if I do, it'll spoil it. But I'll say this. I'll say it in 3 words: deep, emotional, freaking. I just can't say anything that'll, like, if I say something, it'll spoil the movie.
Okay, well, I can say a little bit without spoiling the movie. I have a little bit of things. It really goes into concepts and meta ideas, but it does it in a really good way. It really puts in the concept of what is
Man, that freaking chick Ava, the freaking Ex Machina,
yeah,
like the machine or whatever. It looks so sick, and this movie wasn't even made with a big budget. Like, that's what's surprising.
This movie looks real, and I don't know how much of it was practical and how much of it was CG.
Yeah, her inside was CG.
But you don't need to know that. You don't need to know what is practical and what is CG, because it all blends together perfectly.
Yeah, like, I didn't even know that was CG. I thought that was real.
And yeah,
so real. Like, there was such, like, this movie. It makes you look at the whole world differently.
Well, this is one of these movies that you see the trailer and you're like, I wish that was going to be a good movie. I wish that was going to be a good movie, but there's no way that's going to be a good movie. And then you see it and you're like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, it was really, like, that movie is shocking as hell. Like, that's why I can't say anything, because
yeah,
it's like,
and this is what I want from sci-fi. This is the type of sci-fi movies I I thrive on because it takes science and then it puts in real world questions.
Yeah, and I can't say anything. Like, I want to say something, but even if I say the smallest thing, it could ruin it. I have it off the tip of my tongue. I just can't say it because it
But
could
it's
ruin
a
it.
great movie. Go see it. We both highly recommend it. And so yeah, what is your number two?
My number two is Creed.
Movie I have yet to see. Want to
It
see it?
was fucking amazing. Like it really was amazing. Like, I just freaking loved how, like, the trailer. Like, I'm not gonna give any spoilers though, but the trailer lets you on to think that Arnold is like, not Arnold. What the hell am I saying? Stallone. Sorry, that he is only in the movie for a brief cameo.
And I've been telling you he was a major character in the movie, and you were like, "No, Mark, no."
It's like an extended cameo. Like, I thought he might have been in it, but not as much as you think. He's in the whole damn movie, like from beginning to like not the whole thing, like not every scene, but he's in it a lot more than I thought he was.
Yeah. He's a major supporting character.
Yeah, like he's like
I haven't seen the movie, but as far as I'm aware, and please tell me,
Michael B. Jordan was amazing. The entire cast was amazing.
this is another Rocky movie as far as I've heard. Like
Pretty much, yeah.
yeah, this is what Rocky 5 should have been. Uses the same concept of he's training somebody else, but it doesn't.
I love Rocky 5 though, so
yeah, that's what I've heard.
My order for the Rocky movies though go Rocky 1 is my favorite. Rocky Balboa, then Creed, then 2, then 3. Yeah, 3, then 5 actually, then 4. 4 is my least favorite. Everybody loves that one. I love it. It's amazing. I love 4. It's just that, that's not my favorite. But yeah, that's my number 2. Creed, and like it's really freaking messed up what happens to some of these things. Like it goes in directions that I didn't expect, and that's good. So yeah, go.
Okay, so my number 2 has already been mentioned, just not where I agree with it. Mad Max Fury Road. Now I get to finally talk about this movie, and yeah, I disagree with almost everything you said. But that's fine. Movies are subjective. That's the great part of movies, is that you can get one experience. I think the action is the story. I think it does tell a story, and it's telling a story.
I don't know. Maybe it's because I didn't smoke enough or something.
This is a type of movie that you can't spoil. I can tell. I'm not going to tell you the end. I could tell you the end of the movie. It doesn't spoil because
that's basically what I. You know what I remember? That one line, dude. That villain was goofy as fuck.
But it's a Mad Max movie. They're supposed to be over the top. You need to see the anime Fist of the North Star because it's
like, don't get me wrong. I love out there stuff, but this is literally like a psychedelic stoner's wet dream, like on like LSD or something.
I have to say this because this is hilarious.
I mean, when you have a guy riding on a car, playing a guitar, and that's how it moves, like that shit is badass. I'm not gonna bullshit, but the fucking whole movie is like, what is going on?
Well, and I will say this, okay? One of the things,
maybe I should rewatch it,
but I think
I only saw it once.
Oh, okay. One of the things to me that I think was really funny about something that actually came about this movie is that Japanese people claimed this was ripping off Fist of the North Star.
Really?
Yes. Because they're familiar with Fist of the North Star, where we're familiar with Mad Max. And so, because Fist of the North Star is like basically an homage or basically is the anime version of Mad Max. So it's very simple because really quickly what Fist of the North Star is about, and you'll get this. This is really quickly. It's about a guy who knows an ancient martial arts, and he was bested by, he was left for dead by his best friend who stole his true love. And basically the thing about it is they're living in a post-apocalyptic world after World War III is over, and he has to go around the world to get her back, while fighting ravaged gangs in basically a wasteland world. So, but it's got an
Oh,
anime.
so that's almost the same.
Yeah, it's just got more of an anime
But
feel
what
to it.
about Mad Max? He was so freaking like boring. He didn't even freaking want to be there. He had no lines. Like I was expecting him to be like the badass of the movie, where he was like he was just freaking chained
I
up the
loved
whole
him.
movie.
I loved him in the movie. I
He was
thought what he
fucking
did.
chained up the whole movie.
I thought what he did in the movie was good. I thought, I thought how they in the thing about Mad Max movies that people
And his voice was like, "What?"
starting with the second Mad Max movie, he's the secondary character in his own movie. This is the type of movie where whoever is your second character
It's called
is your,
fucking Mad Max.
what?
It's called Mad Max, and he's not even the main character.
Yeah, but that's the type. That's what you get when you get a Mad Max movie. Is that you're getting?
Bull. Watch freaking your first one.
I said other than the first one, but
Oh,
yet again, the first one isn't to me isn't even a Mad Max movie because it's a different type of movie. The Mad Max franchise starts to me in the second one. What a Mad Max movie is. It's a great movie. I'm just saying it's not to me. It's not a Mad Max movie. If that makes any sense.
I want George Miller to do Justice League or a Superman movie though, because those visuals are freaking insane.
Okay.
I'll give it that.
So I only have one honorable mention.
I have a few.
So I'm going to say what it is, and then you'll get to say your list, okay?
Hmm.
So my one honorable mention, almost made it, but Spectre got a little bit above it, was The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, that is awesome. I saw that. That's one of mine too.
Yeah, that was a movie that was really, really good.
You know what's freaking cool about that movie? I thought Henry Cavill was freaking awesome in that movie. Watch that. Whoever does these Superman movies and freaking Warner Brothers, watch that. Give him mad dialogue. I want to see him talk as Superman now.
Absolutely. And I
I mean,
thought
he
that,
had lines in Man of Steel. I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying, like, I want to see him have because most actors that play Superman, they're not the greatest actor in the world. He is.
yeah, and that movie was really good. So now, what are some of your other ones?
Oh, Ted 2. I freaking loved it. Probably my favorite comedy of the year. It got bad reviews, which was surprising. I laughed my ass off. It's just like you said, subjective. People would find funny. I didn't find Vacation funny whatsoever. That movie was so awkwardly bad that I had to shut it off. That's how bad. And I never shut movies off, no matter how bad they are. I always have to make it through the end. That one movie, I just couldn't. But Ted 2, hilarious. I can't. I wish they make a third one. And movies I didn't get to see this year yet is Hateful Eight, but that came out way later, so it's hard to put that on a list when.
Yeah.
And it's only playing on 100 screens right now.
Yeah. Hunger Games was that for me.
What else? Black Mask is another one I have to see. I haven't seen yet. But yeah, Ted 2.
Will Batman be in Black Mask? No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Ted, fuck, I just lost train of thought. Ted 2, I just had it on the friggin', I just remembered it, but then I lost track of it, what it was. But yeah, Ted 2, oh yeah, Insidious 3 was decent. I'm putting that on there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for
Okay.
honorable mentions.
So yes. So I'm gonna say it. I get to say it. I'm guessing
yeah,
this is
duh,
the number
right?
one.
Yeah,
Yes, Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. And if you try to spoil this, I will turn off this broadcast right now.
yeah, I'm
I
not
have
gonna
the power.
spoil it. I won't spoil it.
Yes. Okay. So
So basically, we'll give a non-spoiler, quick thoughts.
yes.
Because we already did basically 2 hours and a 30. Technically, if you combine both the podcasts we did on Star Wars, it's 2.5 hours. So go listen to those. If you want spoilers,
spoilers, we have plenty of material. We talk about the future. We talk about what we thought. We talk about all that. So go watch those videos. We uploaded one yesterday. Go watch that. That has a bunch of other people talking about it. So you get a lot of opinions in the movie. But yeah, no, Star Wars was just great. It was everything I wanted. It was everything I wanted.
it really, like, just let me say this. The entire cast is amazing. JJ, you are a genius. You brought Star Wars back. Thank you for erasing those shitty prequels.
And as I said, this
And
is
yes,
not
I'm going to say it again. They are horrendous.
yes. And I don't consider what I'm about to say a spoiler. The first line of the movie, this
Overly
weekend-
choreographed, crappy CGI, freaking lame as hell dialogue I've ever heard in my life. They are horrendous. Horrendous.
the first line of the movie to me just sets the tone of the movie. This will begin to make things right.
Yeah, that's freaking hilarious. Yeah. And yeah, the effects were amazing. It was just overall an amazing experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm looking at these movies right now, and I'm like, is this my number one because I'm still so hyped for it?
No,
and I
it
look
is.
and I'm
No.
like, no, this is
I
not
saw
hype.
I saw it nearly a week ago, and I'm still talking about it and still thinking about it. And I only saw it once.
Yes, and these are every single movie on this list. Like yeah, like I
Most of
know
the other
this
movies
is
I saw multiple times. You know, I've seen them all multiple times. I'm still thinking of Star Wars, and I only saw it once.
Yes. Yeah, to me, I've only seen it twice, and that was
It's been a week.
yeah. But yeah, no, I thought this was the best film of the year, and I cannot wait to 2017. Let me just say, 2017 gonna be one of the greatest years. We're getting a proper Star Wars, and we're getting Justice League.
Yeah, but you're getting Rogue One next year too, though.
Yes, and we're getting Batman v Superman. But if you
But
could
we
get
will get to that actually because we're going to be doing a top 10 most anticipated of 2016.
yes, so stay tuned for that. That will be coming out soon. But I'm just saying, in 2017, we're getting Justice League and Star Wars. You cannot say you're
And
not
Infinity
excited.
War. And Infinity War.
Yeah. Or no, that doesn't come out. No.
When does Infinity War come out? 2018?
Yeah, 2018.
Doesn't Part 1 come out in 2017?
No, Part 2 comes out in 2019.
Oh, damn. That's mad long from now.
Yeah, that is mad long. I believe next year we're getting.
Oh, yeah, it is 2018.
Next year we're getting Spider-Man, Black Panther, and one other that I can't think of off the top of my head.
Oh, we're getting a new Spider-Man movie next year?
Or 2017, sorry. 2017.
Oh, 2017 is the reboot of Spider-Man. Again.
Yes, reboot of Spider-Man is Black Panther, and there's one other one that I can't think of because they restructured things. Oh, Thor. Thor is 2017.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, 2017 is a really, really big year for movies.
But it's not anything compared to next year. Sorry.
Oh no, I think it's bigger. I personally.
There's no way.
Okay, let's argue this for 10 seconds.
All right, yes, it's the freaking. I understand. I love Star Wars. That is.
We're getting Star Wars and we're getting Justice League. Yes, we're getting the.
But listen to this. Listen to this list: Star Trek, Star Wars, Ninja
We'll
Turtles.
talk about that in a minute. We'll talk about that in a minute. I understand next year is a gigantic year for it, but can you tell me if you had a choice?
I mean, even Angry Birds is coming out that next year. Aren't you looking forward to Angry Birds? God damn.
Yeah, that's my most anticipated. Now you just ruined everything, but we're done. We're talking about next year already, so we're gonna get going. We'll be back soon. So, yes, this was Don't Put Us on One, and we'll see you next time.
Have a great one.